Hi, she's Trixie and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of arts and crafts, generally with yarn, but even with this episode we're doing it with material, making stuff. Sewing, yeah, so it's gonna be fun. I'm sorry if I'm not in frame fully. We're in a different location. I don't know if you can tell. We're in my living room this time. My crafting room is kind of disorganized. We haven't filmed in like
2 weeks.
2 weeks, and it's been crazy.
My asthma kicked up and I couldn't talk without coughing, and that was not going to make a good video, so we just stopped.
And then the following week, it was my daughter's birthday week.
Yes.
And we were getting ready for that.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of things going on,
And we have a little
yeah, if you hear something, my son woke up from his nap right as we were about to press play. Yeah, today hasn't been working out for us. We tried to thread a bobbin today and it just... We're smart individuals.
But yeah, so her 20-month-old son is playing with mommy's phone so that we can do the video. So we're going to make this quick.
Yeah, and if he makes an appearance, I hope you don't mind.
Yeah. So
episode 30, we're in a new spot.
Yeah.
Probably isn't permanent, but hey, you know.
We're here, folks. We're here.
So what do you got today?
So I'm still working on my wearable, and I'm starting on the arms, but I don't know how, even if I showed this last time, but yeah, I've gotten the whole body of it done.
The torso.
And it's long enough to go like down to my hips. And because I wanted something that was longer and not just in the midriff, I don't like that. And now I'm starting on the arms, so I'm going in the rounds for those. And I may have to switch colors pretty soon, but that's okay. I have plenty of different grays or even white and black to switch to. So
this is really nice.
and it's a nice material. It's turning out really nice, and it's got the wool in it, and it's gonna wear nice. And I'm doing excuse me, half double crochet, and it's my favorite stitch. So it's turning out to be quite a dense material, and you know, no spotties in it, so it's just like that'll work out. This winter I'm hoping to be able to wear it, and so yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I did when we had my granddaughter's birthday party, it was out at our house, and people like my Sarah's father-in-law came in from Florida, and he asked if I could make him a quilt. So I am starting on that also, and he wants it in peacock colors. So all the pretty teals and blues and purples and golds, and that is delightful. I'm telling you, the colors in this quilt are going to be so pretty. And I found a couple of panels with peacocks in them, and I'm going to incorporate those also on the front, possibly on the back also, and maybe a panel for an extra pillow. He doesn't know that's coming. So he paid me $200 to start it. So I don't have all the material yet. I don't have the batting. I don't have the backing. I may have to ask for more money, but that's okay. He seems to realize that when you're making stuff, it's worth the money. Mm-hmm. So
now my order only got bigger when he came. So yeah, him and his partner, when they lived in one of their first neighborhoods, when they were in Florida, or even in the last recent years, there was a peacock that used to roam the neighborhood. They lived in, I think it was a gated community, and the peacock lived in there. Yeah. And so they would just walk down the street. And for his wedding, instead of having like a napkin or a boutonniere, they collected the feathers around the neighborhood, and everyone wore a peacock feather.
See, now that is clever.
So so the peacock represents something really, really good for him.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's part of that. So he also, okay, I digress. Last time you saw me, I was working on Link, a Legend of Zelda character for my nephew. And then, sorry, my son's coming right now.
Don't shake the table, honey. No,
hi,
don't
Pippi.
shake the table.
Oh my goodness, the joys. I think he's going to join us for a minute.
Hi, Daniel.
Sit, sit. Good job. I was working on the character for my nephew, Legend of Zelda character for Christmas, and so far I've made it this far. I have the full body done, hands with the gloves, and they even have the skin color for his hands and his thumbs, the boots with the boot cuffs. I got his collar done, and I've been working on his wearables that you have to sew around him. It's been working really rather well, but I was working on this while my father-in-law was in town for Olivia's birthday party. Well, he ended up wanting to put in orders for Christmas that I also now have to work on.
Yeah.
One of them being, my son has my phone, so I don't have the photo to show it, but there are these chair covers, and they're supposed to be Santa hats that you can drape over the tops of the chairs, and then the flap falls over, but they have a little bit of mistletoe or like garland that kind of is attached to the rim of the hat. And so I started on one of those. Now,
awesome.
This seems really small to me. They said that the backs of their chairs were 12 inches by 21 inches. He said that they were the short chairs, the small chairs.
Okay.
Which, I mean, that's very possible they could have narrow backs. But, and I asked him what he wanted personally for his, for the round. And he said he felt that 25 inches would be safe. So I am planning on finishing one, sending it down, because I'm writing the pattern as I go, because I'm doing this more by visual, because the pattern was way too expensive for what it was.
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm just going to do it by the dimensions. I apologize. I'm getting something set up for my son. And I'm going to send it down. He can confirm that's the right size. If it's not, then I can send it back up, and we can re-figure out what the dimensions are and see if he likes what I've done so far. Right. So that's my first thing. Then I showed him other ideas, and there was this Christmas pillow that I had showed him where it's a Santa head with a beard. And in the beard are the days counting down to Christmas. On the Santa hat that was attached to the head, on the cuff, there's a candy cane that is attached by string that you can put into. One of his best friends loves Santa Claus. Is a fanatic when it comes to Christmas and anything Santa Claus. So he would really like to have that pillow for him as a Christmas gift.
That's nice.
So now I have to make that before Christmas, on top of the Link and the Godzilla. And on top of that, I had orders coming in also from my pastor's wife, Miss Sandra, who had a dress she wanted me to replicate. Dress is a pretty simple pattern. Didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. So far, I would say that I've gotten the pattern pretty well. It was pretty simple. All I had to do was, it was a pretty straightforward pattern, so it did not have any tucks or, breast pin-ups or any sort of,
any darts or
anything. It just laid flat, so I laid it flat on the ground, and I just kind of outlined it so instead of getting pattern paper or newspaper, I actually used wrapping paper, and I just made this big square on the ground and taped it, put the dress over it, and made a front panel and a top panel.
And what was nice about the wrapping paper is it had grids on the back, so that very much
it
helped.
Really worked out well. And me and Sandra had went to the Joann's, and we found material that she would like me to use to replicate this dress. And so far, I'm reaching my bad. so far I wouldn't say I'm doing that bad. You can only see the top of this right now, but I've already gotten the cuffs for the sleeves done, and I'm working on doing the collar, and this is inside out, so if you see a seam, I apologize, but it's a pretty drapey dress.
And it's made in linen.
Yeah, she wanted me to make this in linen. Hers was, her original was made more in a muslin.
Right.
But we couldn't find any that worked, so we might have to order in for more if she wants me to replicate it. Now that I have the pattern mapped out already, I can just copy and paste sort of a thing. But as she came to Joann's, she just kind of like pulled out of her big purse, hey, I have these pencil skirts. Do you think you could replicate these? And what material would would it take to replicate them? And so while we were there, we found the material that would be right as a wearable for this, and now I have those orders. So I'm busy.
It's good to get started early. Like my son ordering early for Christmas, but it just seemed to snowball all over her.
Yeah.
So she'll be busy for a while, but it's good busy, and it's paid jobs, so it's kind of worth it at this point. If you're getting this business started up, she's actually getting a business to go with it.
It's so true. I'm so sorry. This episode's gonna be crazy.
We just didn't think he was going to wake up, and then he did right before we were going to hit record.
And now my phone's blowing up because he's not. Here you go. Here you go, baby. So yes. So I have a lot of patterns that will be coming through the coming through the tunnel as we go along.
Right.
I am putting the link down for right now to finish up the wearables and at least finish the hat. So,
right.
Because this is a Christmas gift. I have till December
right.
24th at the latest to get this to Josh.
Right.
Likely I'm the one who's going to be giving the boys these gifts, so I don't have to stress too hard about that.
Right.
I already have the Santa hat pattern already bought. I already have the material bought. And this hat, as long as the dimensions are right, when I send this one down, if that's right, I just have to pump out 5 more, and it won't take me that long. These are really simple patterns, so it's not like I can't get this done. And it's not like I'm not getting this dress done in a good time. It's just, I need to have the time to be able to do it. So it's not like these are super difficult. Honestly, the most difficult of all the patterns so far are likely the Link and the Godzilla, because they take the most detail time.
Right.
The rest of it's just more of like sit down and do it.
Right.
And I need that time, and because I haven't had that time without it being when the kids are asleep, or I'm like literally out of the house at someone else's house getting it done, it's been difficult because in this last week I've had to readjust Olivia's schedule.
Yeah, because she started school.
She started school during the time that she normally naps. So this last week I've had to keep her up during nap time to get her readjusted to the new time schedule. And so right now she's at school. Caniel's here with us, and we thought we had enough time, but because the Boblin went to... I don't know if you guys even want to hear that. But it was
a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, episode 30. Bring it.
So I'm going to read our scripture, and then I got some family news to tell you. So, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit saps a person's strength. Proverbs 17:22 in the New Living Translation. My mom died on the 5th of September.
To us, that would have been 4 days ago.
Yes. So, we're still reeling from that, and we did find out that she had B-cell lymphoma.
Which is what Mom has been trying to have testing for.
Yeah. So she had a big tumor in her neck. It had metastasized to her stomach, and she had some spots in her brain, and we she was in the hospital for 19 days. My sister took her home for a week. She ended up back in the hospital the following Saturday, and the 4th, and then she was in active dying. That's what the nurses called it. She was actively dying. And so the family is sitting in a room, and we're kind of all estranged from each other, and it's just a very difficult situation. And
That death is what's bringing us all back together.
not only that, but that there's nothing resolved.
Yep.
There was no resolving any of the issues. And so when she did die, I was not able to be there at the time. Sarah needed to be home, and she had come after church on Sunday, visited and got to say goodbye to her grandma, and
I was very grateful for.
we needed to leave around 3:15 that afternoon, and to get Sarah home on time, and to get me dinner before I dropped her off. And she, my mom passed at 5:20.
So 2 hours after.
2 hours after we left. And my sister did not tell me until an hour later. And to say that it was hard was already hard enough, was already there. But then to have not been told for an hour afterwards, because they were on Facebook all posting, was even harder for me. And so I'm going to read this scripture again, because I've been dealing with a lot of spiritual sap. So, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit saps a person's strength. I have had a certain amount of peace during all of this. I know that's God. But to be honest, my spirit has been not how do I say? My spirit has been drained, because it's just been a very difficult situation with all of this going on. And so I do have family. I have my daughter, I have my son, I have my stepson, I have my husband. I have a good cousin who has been very, very helpful.
Yeah, some aunts and uncles.
And some aunts and uncles. But
grandkids.
Yes.
Family.
Yeah.
Friends that actually are here.
Yeah. My friends, and I do have people. But if anybody out there wants to pray, my spirit needs some revival from all the rejection issues that have been
building up for years.
Been manifested for years, but now have come to the forefront with nothing being resolved. So, and that's where I'm finding myself at this moment.
Yeah.
My stomach is not doing very well, and my mind forgets things very easily. I know my stress level is way up, but I also know that God loves me, and that God will take care of me, and God is taking care of me, and that I still have a peace that I can't explain, knowing that He's taking care of me. And I'm very grateful for all the family that has been surrounding us.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything to add?
There's a lot just happening right now, even on my side, just getting ready for Olivia to go to school. figuring out things with, I've been dealing with undiagnosed pain that has been keeping me up at night. I've been dealing with, it just feels like there's just this level of, it never just rains, it pours.
It does.
It's never just a little. My grandma dying has made her number 8 in a line of people that passed since 2020 hit for me.
For me, it's been, my dad died September 10th of last year. Then my father-in-law, October 5th of last year. My mother-in-law died on May 4th of this year. And then my mom died on September 5th of this year. So all within 1 year, from September 10th to September 5th. It's been nothing but my parents dying. And it's a lot. It's a lot. So, and then, you know, my son has had a couple of grandparents die. My daughter has had family members for her husband and other members that she knows just dying, and it's a lot. There's a lot of death going on.
Yes, besides my grandparents, I had a great grandparent that passed. I had my my husband's grandmother died right after my grandpa Garvey died, within 12 hours, and both my aunt and then one of my old best friends died last year unexpectedly, and this one was number 8, and I don't know. I've been dealing with pain. I've been going through just this transition, and transition always takes its own toll. You know, no matter what season you're in, when you're in transition of getting kids ready for school,
Yeah.
or just, you know, all that paperwork, making sure you're on time. I only have one vehicle. I'm going through a vehicle issue right now. My husband switched jobs. I have DHS up my butt because changed jobs, all this information that I don't have yet to give, and they want it all now. And
Thanks, baby.
my best friend was over the other day, and she just was like, you just seem really calm for everything going on. Like, you're not even, like, Olivia was acting crazy, and she's just like, you're just handling it so well. And I'm just like, I don't want to say something like spiritually untrue, but you get to a point where things just stop phasing you. You just become very numb.
Or, yeah,
And
you get numb, and then you have to pick your battles.
But yes, you get numb and you pick your battles, and the reality is the numb doesn't feel good. It just is there. It's a coping mechanism. It's a way of handling it. You can't feel everything at once, so you stop and then you choose what you're going to feel at that moment.
Yeah.
And I just was like, you know, I'm okay. And I was. It wasn't like I was lying to her.
Right.
But it's just one of those things where it's like, I know at some point it's going to hit me. But right now I can't afford it to hit me right now. And I have to be strong for the people that I have and I'm responsible for. And with things like family that I can't, I'm not involved with, I can't make them want me to be there. All I know is I can be there for the reasons that I'm there, which was for my grandmother. You know, I can't make up for the past. I can't. No. And there's just some aspect of, you can say forgive or say you're sorry and let things go, and to some point you have to lay it down. You have to be willing to lay it down and walk away, otherwise you're going to carry it, and it gets heavier by the mile, and you have to be able to let some stuff go. It's just a matter of, and I've been trying to figure this out personally, how do you let things go when they don't? How do you let things go when there's no repentance, no change. No, you don't even need them to apologize, but you just want to see that they're doing better.
Yeah.
That they were able to see and recognize it in their lives that this is a toxic trait that you want them to, for themselves, get out of so that they can have a happier life. And I'm not trying to have some righteous high ground here. Everyone has something in their life that they could improve on. That's not even it. It's just, these are things that, with family and current relationships I'm dealing with right now. It's like, regardless of family, how are you able to explain to them, regardless of the past, how are you going to move forward from this and stop acting like this is not actually affecting your life actively? You're making the same choices, assuming it's going to have a different outcome. It's not going to work.
Right.
And it's just sad. So you just have to have it in your head, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit saps a person's strength. The reality is that we go through seasons.
Yes.
And we have to be able to give grace for the seasons that we're living in. You gotta be able to go through your processes. And the biggest thing is you have to grieve the life you were not able to have with the people that you should have been able to have them with the relationships you should have been able to have, the history you should have been able to have that was robbed from you. And you have to come to peace and lay it down. But the words are easier to say than doing them. And you have to go through it. And it's not...
You never can feel happy if you don't have sadness in your life, and you can't.
No,
you don't know the difference. You can't be happy all the time.
No.
So you've got to have all the different emotions, otherwise you're not living. So
the yin and the yang.
But we're gonna close this out now. Little man needs our attention.
So sorry for how crazy this one was. I promise next week it's going to be back to normal. I hope that you guys have some grace here. We're just we're in a really weird state this week, and we hope that you can forgive us. Part of the reason we set up out here was because I have my sewing machine set up out here behind the camera. And so we just chose to do this spot because my back room is just so loaded with everything. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there he is. He turned 20 months today, folks. This is little Mr. Caniel. So, all right. We love you guys, and we're very thankful to be able to see you guys this week. We hope that you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you the following week. And again, we hope that you stitch your way to mental health.